Hey guys, welcome back to the show. On today's show, we're going to make some modifications to my DX Commander and how I set it up originally. So it's virtually going to be maintenance free as far as the ground radials go. That's right here, right now on Ham Radio for Non-Techies. Alright guys, so as I said, today we're going to be making some modifications to my DX Commander, which is behind me here. And first I want to say, if you guys are not a member of my Patreon, please sign up for that. It's like $3 a month. Helps out the channel, helps ensure that we keep making more videos. And it makes me very appreciative. As always guys, if you have any questions or anything, please contact me via the website hamradiofornontechies.com. Always glad to help you guys out and assist where I can. And if I don't have the answer, I'll send you to somebody who does. So anyway, back to what I was saying here. Today we're going to be making some modifications to my DX Commander. Let me kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Let's turn this around. Okay, so a couple weeks ago I bought these bricks over at Lowe's or Home Depot, whatever it was. And the idea is to make a surround for my DX Commander and run the radial wires, which you see are now hanging above. Run those things underneath this into the grass so I can staple them into the yard. And the problem has been that before I did this, every time I want to mow the yard, I've had to pull these things up. They kept getting in the way of things. There's grass growing up inside of here, all kinds of problems. So what I'm going to do is we're going to dig out this area. I put these bricks down a couple weeks ago to let it hopefully deaden the grass. We're going to remove the bricks, take down the DX Commander. We're going to clean out all that grass you see inside the ring here and get that all with dirt, and I'm going to repack it with marble stone and then put the brick back on and run the radial wires, which I have to remake a lot of the radials because a lot of them got chewed up by my lawnmower. So we're going to remake a couple of those radial wires there and redo everything, run everything from the DX Commander underneath the rocks, underneath the brick, and out here to the yard, where I will then staple them down permanently. So that's pretty much the gist of what I want to get done today. So let's go ahead and get started. It's going to be a pretty lengthy little video, but I want to let you guys kind of see the process. And I'll probably skip ahead because just watch me do is like reading the Wall Street Journal. It'll be very boring. So we'll skip ahead a couple things, but first things first, got to get DX Commander down, unplugged, and get that whole area cleaned out so I can then start excavating and getting it all back down to dirt, get all the grass and stuff out of there, and we'll just go from there. See you shortly. Okay guys, we're going to start the next section here, which is going to be clearing the DX Commander from the area, getting this whole area cleared out so I can now get the grass and stuff dug out. So we're going to start by removing all the radial wires, then I'll take down the guy wires and remove everything to get it all cleared. So stay tuned. Okay, old guy wire or old radials are out. Okay, get right up here. And also, before I start this whole process, I will also be checking the DX Commander for any maybe possible decay or rotting parts on the different element pieces that go up the whole length of the antenna. Make sure everything's all nice, not cracking or getting weathered. Don't want any problems down the road. If so, then I'll probably have to order more parts from Callum and have him send those out to me. We'll keep rocking. Okay, so now with this all dug out, I got a couple little more bits of roots and stuff I gotta get out of here. I want any grass growing back. But the next part's gonna be going inside into the shop and making new radials for the ones that I lost or ones that got broken. And then we'll come back out and set everything up. We should be good to go. So stay tuned. Okay, so in my attempt to work smart, not hard, I determined that there's a lot of dirt in here. There's a lot of little weeds and grass and stuff that I don't really want to deal with down the road. And if I just put the rocks down now, there's a good chance that grass is going to grow back up over it again. So my solution to that was I just went down to Lowe's real quick and I picked up some of this basic weed barrier, and they luckily have it in small rolls, not the size to do an entire freaking garden. So I got the 3 foot by 50 foot, about 15 bucks. I'm going to cut this up and put that down here, turned around, put that down here and use it as a weed blocker so the grass will not grow back up when I put down the marble chips. So with that having been said, I'm going to go ahead and get this cut up and laid down. And I'm going to go inside. We're going to go into the garage next to my shop and get those, find out which radials need to be repaired and get that rocking and rolling. You know, I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but it's been 100 degrees out here for a long time. It's the first couple days we've had where it's in the 50s and 60s. And I love being outside. It's not like being out in the freaking heat. So I want to get this all taken care of. So when you see me next, we will be in the garage. I'll already have this stuff cut and laid down. I'll show it to you before we start setting everything back up. We're going to go back in the shop now and cut radials. Okay, so we're now in my shop. And I'm going to show you real quick what I'm going to be doing here. In case you don't, Callum has struck a deal with DX Engineering to sell the DX Commander antennas and the accessories that go with it. So I picked up this spool of wire. It wasn't much cheaper than buying it directly from Callum. I still paid about $90 for this, but it's 300 feet of the same wire you get with the DX Commander. Luckily, when you buy a DX Commander, he gives you extra parts, sometimes a little extra wire here and there, so you have some stuff to do some small repairs. Unfortunately, the repairs I have to do are so extensive, I needed to buy a whole new roll because I got a lot of these I got to replace. Also, I've got some extra little fork connectors that came with the DX Commander originally, so I can make all new radials for everything I need. Today we'll be using our strippers, our crimpers, some snips, a little bit of solder. And in case I really screw up, I got my solder sucker, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to crimp and solder everything, get that rocking and rolling. I got my trusty 853D soldering station out, so we're going to get that rolling here in a sec. I got to go back outside to the yard, grab the radials, and figure out which ones need to be replaced completely. I had, over the years, I've kind of Frankensteined the radials together a little bit, and it's cool to a point, but I really need to do this the right way. I don't like things being done halfway. So I'm going to go out to the yard, grab those, figure out which ones need to be replaced, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so after going out and inspecting my radial situation, I have 6 sets of radials. Apparently, I'm supposed to have 7, which means I lost an entire length of radials at one point with my antenna, which kind of sucks. But when I went out there to look at the radials themselves, I was looking for things like this where I had, I guess, cut a radial or hit with the lawnmower and something broke. And so this one has to be replaced. So I'm just going to replace the whole thing. I'm not going to worry about trying to add on to it or anything like that. I want to get all new wire out there. And I had a couple arguments with people about, you know, well, why don't you just go get any wire and make radials with it? Well, it's a personal choice. It's because the DX Commander didn't just come with any kind of wire. It came with this crazy Arctic 10 wire, which is really, really tough. And living in Texas, we have really harsh conditions out here, more heat than cold. But I want the best of the best. So yeah, could I have gone out and gotten any kind of wire made radials? Sure. Would I have been happy with it? Somewhere in my mind, I would have known that wasn't going to fly. So we're just going to replace all the radials. I have this extra wire now that I can use for other things or make it, or I can add it on, make, you know, even more radials if I wanted to. But what I've also discovered is if you look at the new instructions from DX Commander's website, dxcommander.com, he's got a whole new set of instructions where he's talking about how you should probably have 4 radial wires per fork connector. And I don't seem to recall, I mean, all of mine here have 3. And I think it's because the way I twisted the wires up originally, they wouldn't fit. So when you snip the wires, don't touch anything with them. Put them all together into one little glob, and then twist them together, which makes it small enough to fit inside that little thing there, which we can now crimp and solder. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp and solder these. I'm also going to grab my little backup emergency thing of shrink wrap or shrink tubing. So I'm going to be shrink tubing these things around each connector as well, just to further protect it. It won't give perfect protection, but anything's better than nothing. And I'd rather have something around these things to make it look as nice and as nice as possible. So we're going to get these all cut. I'm going to do, if you look on the website, he says about 3 meters. But when I went out and measured mine, for some reason, mine were 3 meters, 30 centimeters. So I'm not sure if I went nuts at one point and forgot something, or if the original instructions said do 3 meters, 30 centimeters. So I'm going to try to keep it close. I might just do 3.5 meters just to be on the safe side with it. And no, you know what? I'm just going to do 3 meters. We'll just do 3 meters. I'm going to cut a bunch of 3-meter wires, get those bunched up in here, get them crimped and soldered, and I'll see you guys shortly. All right, just to show you real quick what I was talking about, I've got 4 pieces of wire here. Let's see if I get that right there. So you can see right there, I got 4 pieces of wire. I didn't touch any, haven't twisted them or anything, so we're going to twist them now. So I'm going to get them kind of in the configuration that I want. I'm going to start twisting them as nice and tight as I can. So now I have 4 radials. We're going to grab my reading glasses. Get the crap off my face there. We're just going to slide that in. Do a check, make sure it all fits. Looks good. Let's grab some shrink wrap here. Probably way too much, but that's okay. I don't care. I got plenty of it. Go ahead and slide that through now. So now we'll straighten up our thing there. Get that through the hole. Make sure I got enough sticking out. Because remember, I want to solder here after I crimp it. So go ahead and get our crimpers out. And we'll use the smallest setting here. Get that crimped. And now we just solder and move on to the next one. See you soon. Okay, I just want to give you a little bit of progress here. Now that we have crimped and soldered, let me see, get that clear there. We've crimped and soldered everything. So now we'll just slide the shrink tubing up as far as we can. All right, so now we get the little solder reworking thing here. We'll get this all shrunk down. Make it look nice and neat. And it's not necessary, not mandatory you do this, but it does make it look a lot nicer, a little more professional of a install. If you don't have a reworker to heat up the shrink wrap, just use a lighter, match, rub 2 sticks together, whatever works for you. But there we go. We got 1 set of radials going. So another little trick that I figured out is I take the spool of wire, and I've got the spool of wire on the floor. So I make the very first cut, the very first 3 meter radial, and I just pull from the floor and just keep making new ones. When I get to the end, I make my cuts so that everything is uniform in length, and we're ready to roll. So rather than bore you guys with watch me do this 3 or 4 more times, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to cut to the next section. So we'll see you shortly. Okay, so we now have 7 sets of radials total. Shown here. There's the new sets and there's the 3 of the old sets. So now we just got to go in here and we're going to put down the weed blocker fabric and then put down a layer of the marble rocks, and then put my 2 platforms here, one on top of the other, that's going to hold the DX Commander above ground, so in case this thing does fill up with water, it doesn't flood and trash my antenna. So we're going to get that taken care of, and we'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see here, I got the weed blocker paper or weed blocker fabric down, And I just put down a little bit of the white marble rocks for now, because the idea is I want to mount the DX Commander here, and I want the radios to run off, go under here. I want to put some rocks on top of them all the way around, and then run them underneath the bricks over here out to the yard. So that's what's going to happen next. We're going to get this thing put back up, get it guyed in properly, and go from there. Okay, so I've started laying down the rock, and I was trying to decide if I was going to put the radial wires underneath the marble rocks or above. I think I was going to do it above and have it run under the bricks out to the yard. Another thing I forgot to do is when I raised up and moved all the stuff around, the lengths of my guy wires changed, so I had to cut all new guy wires all the way around, and doing this by yourself is a little bit tricky. Also, I did notice, might not pick up on the camera here, but right here on the first plate you see those little striations or cracks. So this plate here, and I'm sure the ones above it are probably about the same, are starting to show signs of wear, so I might have to go get a repair kit from Callum and get this replaced, because this isn't good. This isn't going to be very useful. At some point in time, with especially all the pressure from the guy wires, this thing's going to crack and break, and it's going to throw stuff everywhere. So until then, what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay down some more rock, get that all settled up. I'm still trying to adjust to make sure that the entire antenna is still nice and straight. If I come out here, you can see it just kind of leans. It leans to the right a little bit, so I've got to mess the guy wires some more, and it's really a two-person job. But I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do to get that taken care of, and I guess we'll just keep moving forward, guys. Just bear with me, and I'll show you the next iteration of this project. So apparently I didn't understand the role that square footage plays when buying materials, and I was one bag of marble stone short to fill out that last little corner right there. So I ran back up to the store now, grabbed another bag of these. We're going to get those laid down, and we'll start working on the radials. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these radials unwound, get them connected and spread out all the way around, and we'll start putting them under the bricks. Okay, let's give you a little perspective on what we're doing here. So I've got all the radials laid out. I have all 7 sets of them ready to go. Pardon my knife. And now I'm going to do a little more rearranging, get them a little more evenly spaced. But then I'll just come through and, like, say I want to get these here, I'll just remove the brick without putting a whole lot of tension on them. Put them up underneath like so, and I'll just staple it with my yard staples out to the yard all the way around. Well, good morning. So last night I had to stop. I ran out of time for some other things I was trying to get done, but I got a lot of these radials underneath the bricks. I'm just continuing that process now. I'm kind of spacing them out where I think I want them to be, and find the brick that I need to move to get these things here. So I'm just going to set them up like so. I'll set the brick back. I don't want a whole lot of tension on these radials at the antenna feed. So I'm just going to run these things out. I'm using these galvanized yard staples, and I put one right at the base outside the brick, like so. I'll grab 2 more. I do one at the midpoint and one at the end, so the end's not sitting up, it could get caught on something. So I just run that back and keep moving. Now, one of the things I am doing with this, I'm trying to get the wires to go down into the grass. And to do that, I'm just kind of rustling it around in the grass a little bit and getting it so it's get as close to the ground as possible, putting a little tension between the staples so it stays nice and straight, a little bit taut. And that should pretty much solve it. So I'm going to keep going with this. We'll come back and finish up. All right, guys. Well, we are completely done now. The DX Commander has been reinstalled. We got the radials exactly where I wanted, the way I wanted them, going over the marble chips, under the bricks, and out into the yard. We've got them all stapled all the way around, and everything's ready to roll. So let's take a look at what we did here. So as you can see, I've got the radials coming out of the antenna, going across the brick. Not a whole lot of tension. I want a little bit of play in them. Got them going under the bricks. I put a staple down at the first, just about a couple inches outside the brick. Then I went up halfway, put another one in here, and then down to the end, about maybe 2 inches, 2.5 inches from the very end, put a third one. So now the hard part's going to be just letting this grow, letting these things settle in. I might have to go back through and take a couple of these radials that might be poking up above the grass and kind of rustle them down and get them to settle down inside the grass a little bit better. But once that's done and the nature takes over, these things should self-bury, just like my coax did, which I realized when I was pulling this thing apart. But that's pretty much it. The yard staples that I used are in my Amazon store. And I'll show them to you here real quick. Those are the yard staples that I used. You get a box of 100 for about $20.50. And they work out just fine. Now, some of you who've watched Callum's videos on how he does his radials with his plastic ones might be wondering why I didn't go with the plastic ones. Well, one, because I already bought a box of the galvanized ones. Two, the galvanized metal is not going to make that much of a difference in the performance of the antenna by having the galvanized metal across the radials. So it wasn't that big of a deal. So I know this video is a little bit long. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I maybe inspired you to try something different if you want to make it look a little nicer. I mean, my wife has to look at this thing all the time, so the least I can do is make it look a little prettier. And I think with the red brick surround, the white marble, and the antenna itself, it kind of looks, it looks really good. It looks much better than what it was before, which was just something stuck in the ground and ready to roll. If you guys have any questions about this, hit me up on the website. You can go to the Contact Us form on hamraderfornontechies.com. I answer every email. Comment down below. If you guys are not subscribed, please consider subscribing today. It helps out the channel, helps me out, lets me know that what I'm doing is useful and that you guys enjoy the content that I put out. So again, subscribe, click the little bell, be notified when I do new videos. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And like I said, if you got any questions, put it down in the comments. I will answer every single comment that comes through on my videos. And I spend about an hour or two a day doing that. If you're not a Patreon member, again, go check out patreon.com/HR4NT. And you can sign up there for as little as $3 a month. And that helps support the channel and helps me to get the supplies I need to put out these videos. One last thing on the surround here. The total cost on the surround with all the rocks, the brick, and everything else came out to around, I'd say about $65, $75 total. Not super expensive. I was hoping to get it done for around $40, but I made some miscalculations and some last minute changes by adding in the weed blocker fabric and then had to go get another bag of the white marble chips. But if I had not done that, I probably would have been closer around the $40, maybe $50 range. Still not a bad deal for what I got in the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until then, this is Ham Raider for Non-Techies, and we are clear.